Hey, gotta be quiet. It's the first night watch and it's 3:56 in the morning, almost 4 o'clock, and just getting my plan made up because there's so much I want to do every day. So I'm trying to break it up between the 3 watches that I have and all the spare time, and we got lots of time, probably 14 to 16 days. And yesterday was the start, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't done that in a long time, and it's one of those unique moments that I'll seared in the old memory. So I'll make some little videos every night just like this, document this whole trip. And it's weird because nowadays I can sit here and on the little phone use this little thing. Hold on a second. A little Garmin InReach. We'll do a video on that later to do a text to everybody. So it does make the time go by. And on my list, I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do watch by watch, between exercise, content creation, writing, blogs. There's so much you can do these days. Plus this boat, there's a lot to learn sailing wise. He's got a lot of technical stuff on here, and he's very experienced, much more on the math side of it than I've ever been. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot on that part. So anyway, just want to have a little update. I'll continue this on, and we'll see how it goes. And maybe we'll do some YouTube content or video, TikTok content from this format right here, and save it for later. Okay, love everybody. Adios. Hey, November 23rd at almost 4 a.m. Universal time. Actually, it's time in Warsaw, Poland. We're off by an hour, but that's what we're going with. And just doing my morning update. Little recap on yesterday. We actually saw a whale. We flew the drone, and Anthony actually is a very good drone pilot when underway. I tried it. I am terrible, but didn't lose it. Gave it back to him. He landed. It was fine. Got a video of that. But we did go up, and the first thing we saw was a big old whale. I think there were 2. We actually caught one of them going back down underwater, through the water, which was really cool. Quiet days. I've always thought a lot about what it would be like to be in prison. Not that this is prison, but being stuck in one place where you only had X amount of things to do, and that was it. The only outside thing I really have is text messaging, which has been great because I can get a hold of Becky and you guys and the team and deal with some things. But mostly it's pretty quiet, and you get a routine going, and came up with my list of how I break my day up. And it's not rigid, but it's something to follow. Anyway, I just want to take a minute. It's been super calm. We're heading towards the Cape Verde Islands. Right now, I'm not really sure where we are location wise. Oh, here we go. 2456 north and 1744 west. And nothing noteworthy to say, guys. It's just being out in the ocean. I like it. I miss it. I know it goes by fast. Anyway, that's it for today, November 23rd. It's Tuesday. Wind should be filling in this afternoon. And we'll talk to you guys, or myself, whoever, tomorrow morning. It's 2021, and I just turned 58. Bye-bye. Okay, it's March 24th. It's my 3rd evening watch. It's about 3:30 in the morning, UTC, and we are sailing. Wind is filled in from the northeast, and we're doing about 8 knots, but that's not what you care about, or what I care about. That's what's the thoughts of the day. Yesterday we had a beautiful day with dolphins coming through the boat. Lots of great video taken. The day went by really fast. We started watching a series together called Expanse, and everything's kind of working good, touch wood. So we're just rolling down the trades right now, keeping an eye on things, and enjoying the time. It's the only thought I got for today, short of, I tend to rush a lot of things. So let's slow down for a second. I had a nice chat with Maddie, and I've been thinking about Kelsey, and every year planning something with each one, and you're probably watching this, so I hope we put that little tradition in place for daddy-daughter time. I would really love that. It mean the world to me. And Becky comes with you. Okay, I gotta go for now. Back to work. Love y'all. Adios. 4th day, night watch, and 3:30 as always. And I'm just thinking about the groove you get into, and I think I'm getting into that groove. We're 96 hours in, and the days are going by surprisingly fast. A lot of you folks wonder, I used to wonder, what do folks do all day long? I'm going to put together a video of that, just one full day of what it's like. But basically, it gets to be a real pattern. And before you know it, it's 3 in the afternoon. Then it's dinner time. You're cooking, you're cleaning up. The night watches start. you do your routine at night. The next morning you wake up, and for me it's 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Get a little bit of rest after the 6 a.m. ends, and then you start the whole thing over again. And that's it. It goes by fast. And you also, I think a lot about using time, how I use time, and how I kind of consume time a lot. Here, there's more opportunity to create. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I'll keep this up. Yesterday was a really fast day. We were doing 18 knots max, probably averaging 11, 12. A lot of acceleration. This boat's exceptionally powerful. And it was just really enjoyable to, not a whole lot of effort to get this thing flying. She is quiet at speed, unlike Ohana, our old boat. So yesterday was all about speed, but right now it is down to, we got dirt for wind, and we took down the big Jennifer about 10 minutes ago and packed it all up and fired up one of the engines, and we're just going to tickle along for a while until the wind fills in from the north. That's for today, or this morning. Anyway, that's it. We got about 2,000 some odd miles to go. 2265 and day 4, and we'll touch base tomorrow. Adios. Day 5, and I got to thinking, first of all, number 1, yesterday was Thanksgiving, and we had a nice ribeye dinner. Conditions were perfect, and it's one of those nights, if you're on this boat in the future, you know, these are the nights that you live for. The skies are clear, the winds are bright, the angle's right, the sails are up and pulling. Just a perfect evening for all the work that you do. I was thinking this morning, if you're watching this 30 years from now it's 2021, so you're 2051, you just bought a new catamaran to you, and you're going to go do some cruising. I don't know how things have changed by then. But I'm on this boat. It's the first ocean crossing for Moxie. It's Outremer 51. And I don't think I've ever been on a boat that's brand new before. And mine have all been old, and they've had lots of stories to tell. And we put our stories on top of them, kind of like in layers. And I'm sitting around the boat looking around going, I wonder what stories this boat's going to have. And then I was thinking, someday some young couple's going to come on board. It's going to be a cheap boat, and they're going to fix it up and get to work. And I was just imagining them walking around here, what they'd be doing, what they'd be looking at, what they'd be saying, oh my god, look how old that thing is, and now we'd use whatever it is to do. Now our new hydrogen engines are going to power this, but who knows. It's just kind of fun to think about. Then you look out over the ocean and you think to yourself, you know, this isn't going to be here forever either. You know, we take it for granted. Someday it's all going to be gone. And so I guess the reminder is, we have these moments like last night, these special, precious moments. And when you feel them or you see them, take them for what they are. Very precious, special moments. And that's my thought for this morning. It's actually, I'm always a day behind. So I'm talking about yesterday. This is the 3 a.m. watch aboard Moxie, where we are, a long way from St. Lucia, probably 2,000 miles to go, and everything's going great. So that's it for this morning, guys, and more to follow. Adios. Okay, day 6, and we are 1,892 miles away from St. Lucia. And today I was thinking about, everyone always asks, how do I get started? How do I buy a boat and learn to sail and take off and go cruising? And I thought I'd share a little bit about my story, and what my advice would be. I grew up in this life. My father loved the idea of the sea, and from a very young age he got me started just being around boats. I can't remember not walking around boat yards and having cruising magazines in our house and stories, and on family vacations going to Annapolis or Newport, Rhode Island, or Mystic, Connecticut. That's what we did when I was a kid, and got me involved in racing really, really early. So my formative years were all around boats. And I was having to start just real quick. I raced in the Hudson River at Chelsea Yacht Club. Raced in the Hudson River Yacht Racing Association, I think it's called, on a boat called Numbers at the time, a J24. And I eventually bought a J24 and lived on it. Believe it or not, they're very small boats. The other boats I've owned that I've owned personally are a Catalina 30, and the next one was a Hughes North Star 40 Scarlet, and then Ohana the Catamaran, and then Ohana 2 the Hunter, and who knows what's next. And in that time I've actually captained a ton of boats. I've been a ferry skipper, Got a Coast Guard 110 license and a New Zealand Inshore Launch Master license. I've just been doing this my whole life. It's just part of me. But if I was starting out from scratch and I didn't know anything, I think the first thing I would do is find my way down to a local yacht club and I would start racing. I would volunteer to race. And the reason I would race, particularly on a crew, is that I would learn so much, so fast. I'd learn it under pressure when things had to get done quick. And that, as far as sailing goes, that'd be step number one. I would do that for at least 1 or 2 seasons, and that would, I think, get me to a point where I would feel competent enough to go out on my own. And then on the off days when we're not racing, get to know the skipper, take the boat out myself, take it out with friends. So that's be what I would do first. I'll get to more tomorrow. I'll do what I would do next. For right now, we are in the trade winds, and it is just blowing a steady 15 knots, or actually it's down a little bit now, 10.7 knots at the moment. The boat's flying along. We're doing 8.4 knots at the moment and 9 knots of wind. This boat's fast, and it's gotten to now we're on kind of just the hangout day by day. This is what long ocean passages are like when you get into the good weather. So you got to be a little more creative what you're doing. So that's it for right now, and we'll check in tomorrow. Adios. Day 7, and yesterday was Spinnaker Day, and it's been a week now, and we were heading down the trade winds kind of solid. We had some really tough news from one of the other boats yesterday. Somebody passed away on one of the boats that went to the northern route, and we don't know what happened. As I get more information over the next few days, I'll follow up. There's at least 2 crew left on board, and we're not sure if they're heading back to Gran Canaria or carrying on, but it's a pretty sad story, so we'll follow up on that one. And I don't know if it was an accident or not. It sounds like it was, because the report said that the others were not injured. So dangerous business out here, which gets me back to what we were talking about yesterday, which was getting started. You guys, you want to buy a boat and you want to go cruising and you don't know how to sail and the whole bit. And I said, start racing, get your sailing skills up. That's a start. The second part is, honestly, to do offshore cruising like we're doing right here. I mean, I'm learning things on this trip I've never done before, and I've been doing this my whole life. And so, I mean, the way I was doing it was safe. So part of what I'm telling you is just how to get you to a place where you're doing this safely. Because if you're not doing it safely, you're putting not only yourself at risk, your crew at risk, but you're putting a lot of other people at risk that might have to come out there and rescue you. And I've spent a good part of my life doing just that, picking people up that are in bad situations. So you don't want to be doing that. So if you're on this track, getting involved with racing, number 1. Number 2, probably just go buy an old boat and start working on it. And system heavy, when you're going to be doing offshore cruising, or even the Caribbean, Bahamas, you have to rely on yourself for a lot of the system repairs, which means diesel, electrical, your plumbing systems, your charging systems, your sailing systems, your rigging systems, standing and running, your navigation systems. Then you're back down to your cooking, refrigeration, freezers, HVAC stuff, small engine repair, anchoring, your anchoring systems. You get the idea. It's a lot. So probably the best thing if you're determined is just to get started. Just get that little 30-foot Catalina or whatever, 40-foot whatever. Just start working on those systems. And using the boat. Get out as often as you can and just start using it. So be my advice for phase 2. Buy a boat and start digging into the systems after you've been racing for a while and you enjoy that part of it. And for today I've been just working on PowerPoints, and Janice here on the boat is an expert in that topic, so she's helping me get some new tips on working on that, and had a good night's sleep. And there's not really much to report. We're just in trade wind sailing, so it's one day after another. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and we'll check in tomorrow. Adios. Hey, it's day 8, and check in tonight. Weather is up. We were heavy on the trade winds, and we had a small spinnaker flying last night. We put a reef in before we went to bed, but the spinnaker's still up. At 1 a.m. got the call to take it down, making a racket out there, and it was blowing pretty good, about 30, some squall activity. and I think I hurt my little wrist a little bit. So I got some ibuprofen on it and then some Tylenol, which is a reminder, back to this kind of topic we're talking about, how do you get started. You also need to learn how to take care of first aid, health, take your body in shape, and be prepared. You know, if you hurt yourself out there, you're in trouble. And we had some really bad news on this particular race. Lost one person, passed away. I'm not sure what happened. It appears to be from injury. A second crew member was injured, and there were 3 on the boat, as I understand it. And they were the 2 that were left and the dead body were evacuated yesterday from the vessel north of here. And the vessel was left adrift. So just a sobering reminder that it is serious business out here. So for now, I'm just going to keep my log. What am I talking about? I'm going to keep this watch. I'm on until 6 a.m. And the only other thoughts I really had for you, well, I got so many. But if you are starting out, just they say you don't need an elephant. How do you need an elephant? One bite at a time. So if you are considering this lifestyle, get started one little thing every day and keep working at it, like anything in life. So thinking a lot about my family, miss my girls, miss my wife, and miss my son-in-law. You too, Elliot, if you ever get a chance to watch this. So that's all for tonight, folks. The trip's sort of about halfway. We're when I went to bed, we were 1,500 miles out from St. Lucia, and we're taking off about 200 miles a day. So, and the crew's working really well together. I like working with Anthony. Janice has been great, really supportive and fun to talk to. Interesting couple, and it's been a great trip so far. So, pray for this. Hope it gets better by morning. And that's it for today. Adios. Good morning. It's day 9 of our little adventure across the Atlantic, and we are at the moment 16 degrees, 21 minutes north, and 38 degrees, 50 minutes west. And yesterday was the halfway point. We passed. We ate brownies. So we had brownies with olive oil. And that was kind of exciting. But right now it is rough as a skunk out here. It is blowing stink, and the boat's really loud. And I've been in these conditions before. This is full-on trade winds, and we're steaming along at 10, 11 knots, and we've only got one reef in the main up, jib out. We were flying the small spinnaker all day yesterday, and we were up to 18.4 knots, which is a new personal best. And what's it like on the boat during all this time? What do you do all day? Let me tell you, yesterday was it felt like a overcast Sunday morning when you just want to get a book and lay in bed or binge watch Netflix or not do much of anything. It was one of those kind of days. But they pass. And the thing about the days out here is they click along really fast. It's unusual. I mentioned it before, but I get up, I'm on watch from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. and I go back to sleep till about 8:50, like clockwork. Wake up and do the morning stuff, some sail work and cleaning my cabin, listening to whatever, a book, and then before you know it, it's lunch. I got another watch, and then 12 to 2 to 6, and get on the boat. We watch a little show all together. We make dinner together, clean up, and then have another watch, 6 to 9, and then go to bed and do it all over again. It goes by really fast. That's a typical day out here, and I enjoy it. So I don't know, I'm just wired. Anyway, that's it for this morning. That's all I got. Bye-bye. Adios. Hey, good morning, folks. It's 3 a.m. and it's our 10th day out. It is I think it's the 1st of December, and time is kind of slipping away from me. I want you to know something. This has probably become my most favorite part of the day. Just waking up at 3 a.m. and having these few minutes just to share a few thoughts and keep it, because I know probably 20 years from now I'll be looking at this going, oh, remember that. And I was also thinking, when I get back to Alaska, a lot of folks don't know that I do this kind of offshore stuff, and I'll be defined to many as the guy that sailed across the Atlantic. And I was thinking about that, and it kind of reminded me that, I'm actually sailing across the Atlantic right this minute. And this is part of the story, and not to just sit around here and it is rough tonight, and it's uncomfortable, it's hot, it's sticky. Our clothes are getting dirty, and sheets are it's just it's getting kind of gummy. The boat is moving lot of squalls around, and the boats, we had up to 30 knots on the last shift, and it was rough down below. What I'm saying with all that is, it's an adventure to a degree, a lot of it. So one of my buddies, Armando, asked me how the boredom is. I go, it's not really boredom out here. I think it's routine. You get into these routines, and that's part of the challenge, is dealing with large amounts of time, with kind of repetitive things to do, and a lot of activity for very short bursts of time, like changing sails is the big one, and then you have a lot of time just to wait for the next thing to happen, just make sure you keep the boat moving safely. So that's what's been going on. And I was also thinking, life is a lot. I know everything has a beginning and an end. I call them bookends. The trip starts, it's got a life to itself, and then whether it's getting on a plane in Alaska and off in Lauderdale, seeing my mom, getting back on the plane in Miami, flying to Madrid, that was a little adventure, onto the island. The time in the Canary Islands had a beginning and an end. This race has a beginning, and right now I'm in it, and it's going to have a conclusion. So while I'm in it, I'm going to enjoy it, and that's probably a good thing to keep back in my head while we do this thing, and for all of us, just to remember big philosophy in the morning. Anyway, that's what I got for today, and we'll have a cup of coffee, and I'm just going to go relax and here for 3 hours, make sure we stay safe. And by the way, sailing with Janice and Anthony has just been a lot of fun. I'm kind of a little out of my comfort zone to be with people I don't know that well, but in hindsight, I would do this again in a heartbeat. More on that tomorrow. Okay, good night, everybody, and adios for now from almost 1,088 miles from St. Lucia. Hey, report from sea, day 11, and yesterday was a lot like the day before. We did celebrate a milestone, so we crossed into the 999 mile range, and right now the crew, myself, I think we're in such a routine that it's getting to the point, things are just a little sticky and they're hot, and you can tell the cruise is coming to its natural backside. But the days still go by really fast. We celebrated that little bit. We also did something else. We went 20 knots, which is a personal record on this boat, which happened so fast. This boat's so fast, I didn't even notice. What happens is you're cruising along, small spinnaker, which they call Drummer, named after a character in the TV show Expanse. The Drummer was up and main with one reef, and what happens is you're pumping along. We're doing normally 10 to 12 knots. The seas they're a little confused yesterday, and the boat, when every 5 to 7 minutes the boat will pick up a wave and you'll feel it. She'll just start to accelerate and she'll be surfing, and she gets on the wave and just keeps going. And the weird thing is it gets really, really quiet, and you just hear this and the acceleration is fantastic, and it lasts quite a while by boating standards, maybe 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 10 seconds, and then she settles down and comes up and gets back into her normal wallow, and then takes off again. That was the routine of the day yesterday. Anthony, when I first got on the boat, and for you guys too, when you first got on anything new, there's a lot of stuff to figure out, and like any modern sailboat, lots of strings to pull and things to do, and loads to watch out for. And for folks that are starting out, be very careful around winches, because they are very dangerous. When I first got here, I had to figure everything out, but now we get that spinnaker up and down in a few minutes. We tried something different yesterday, releasing it with a screwdriver, and the screwdriver is now at the bottom of the ocean. It did work. I may have a video of that on a separate thing we're putting together, but there you go. We also talked about what our favorite times of the day were yesterday, and my favorite time of the day is this right now. I love this, getting up at 3 a.m. and spending a little bit of time with what I consider my family and who I'm talking to now, which is you. So I really enjoy that, and I really appreciate you being here and listening. You know who you are. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to go just enjoy this morning watch, finish my Nespresso coffee, Not a sponsor. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. We got about 5 days to go. Actually, we have 121 hours to go according to the computer door. So that's it for now. And we'll see everybody else tomorrow morning. Adios. Enjoy the little clip. Good morning, friends. It is 12 days out here, and we got about 3.5 to go. Only 683 miles, which a long time ago that sounded like a long way to me. Today that sounds like a short run. One of the biggest things we battle out here is chafing, and that's as lines wear from use. So we've had a struggle with our halyard for the spinnaker, which Anthony's come up with a way to kind of track that, and I think we're going to be fine getting into St. Lucia. Other chafing issues yesterday on one of the sheets for the spinnaker, and this is kind of boring stuff, but I wonder what you do all day with your time. And it's kind of amazing how fast, to me anyway, time goes by out here. Getting motivated, you think you have all this time to do projects, things you wanted to work on, but it doesn't. The days go by really wicked fast. My day starts at 3 a.m. right now, and I go till 6. Then I go back down and catch a few more Z's. I get up 3 or 4 hours later, and I turn into a coffee time and chat with the guys. Next thing you know, it's maybe a sail change. We're putting up the light is changing as we move west, so depends. We put up a spinnaker for the day, and we turn around and it's lunch, and before you know it, take a little nap in the afternoon, read for a while. Then around rolls a little movie time, a little family movie time every day. We watch The Expanse, and then we have dinner, and after dinner sails come down, and there may have been another sail change in there during the course of the day, inspecting stuff. We do little projects during the day. Yesterday was getting the dinghy sorted out because it's getting full of water, and then off to bed, and it starts all over again. Goes by real quick. Just wanted to share kind of what a normal day is, and I think that's about. Excuse me for 1 second while I check my notes. Yeah. The other thing that I really enjoy is out here, we haven't talked about the news in almost 2 weeks now, and that's been really refreshing because you don't get it and you can't see it, and what you can't see, you don't talk about. It doesn't really affect your life, and probably when I get home, that's a good thing to remember because there's a lot of life going on, and it's not, you don't have to watch the news to live it. Anyway, that's this morning's update. Looking forward to Christmas with my family in Florida and seeing the kids, and drinking this cup of coffee over here. That's all for this morning. It's the 12th. It's December 3rd. It's my sister's birthday. So, Marianne, happy birthday. And I'm going to send you a special text later on today. And that's all for now. I miss you. And it's Mom. And see you soon. I miss everybody. Adios. Good morning, friends. We only have a few more mornings together. Hopefully 3. We're 492 miles away from St. Lucia, and it's a Saturday morning right now, and we're hoping to be in on Monday afternoon. So this will be one of the last of our little get-togethers. Hello, future me. How you doing? Very thankful to be here today, and just wanted to share that for starters. On this trip, I've read going on 4 books, and my current one is Surviving the Forest by Adivia Geffen, Geffen, and she talks about, it's a Holocaust-based book on a true story about surviving the forests in Poland in the early 40s, and with her family, not her family, but it was her grandmother that survived. And you read this and everyone asks how hard it is out there on the ocean, and it must be tough, and et cetera, et cetera. This is a cakewalk, and I'm so grateful for the time we live in. And even though times are a little crazy these days, it seems like with everything going on in the world, we can be thankful for all that we have. That being said, it's important to remain vigilant. The freedoms that we have aren't free, and all my speech on that if you know me, and that I would encourage everyone to just keep involved and keep your hand in the game. But this is about sailing, and I think what I've loved about this time out in the ocean is that's a chance to reset, to get away from all the stuff from the day-to-day that keeps people agitated, and get refocused, fly up to a higher altitude, and look down and make some decisions for where you want to go forward in life without all of the background noise of modern life. And that's why I like being out here. So I wanted to share that this morning. Love all of you. I'll keep including little clips in between these, and hopefully we'll see what happens as we edit this when we get back to Alaska. And that's it for this morning. We're doing a healthy 8.5 knots. It's the middle of the night. Anthony and I have gotten really good at taking down spinnakers and putting up spinnakers, and took it down last night at around midnight in about 3 or 4 minutes. It's fast. That's it. Right, we're going to be almost 60 years old and doing this kind of stuff. Anyway, there you go. Adios, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, it's day 14, coming off December 4th. Actually, I filmed these on December 5th, the next morning, but that's okay. Talking about yesterday, and we are getting very close. We're about 289 miles out when I came on watch this morning, but it was a rough night. Wind's been up and down. We put the spinnaker up after dark. We usually take it down in the evening. Got it up, winds were light, then the squalls came through. I had to take it down. On the way up, I got the headlight on the wrong side of the forestay, so I had to take it down again. You gotta understand, these shoulders are getting old, and it's about 50 to 60 grinds on the old Wincheroony to get her up there, but I had to take all that out and do the old 50 to 60 grinds one more time. That was not enjoyable. Today I was talking with the guys about why we do this again, and I don't know. All I know is this is going to be over soon, and I know for the rest of my life I'm going to think about these 2 weeks and make an impression. The best journeys are the ones at sea where you don't have any big terrible stories. I'm going to knock some wood here. It's been a good trip so far, and hopefully we'll finish up on a positive note. There were obviously some bad stories from this trip. One person passed away, 2 boats abandoned. It's serious business out here. But overall, it's been a great experience, and I'm looking forward to one more installment tomorrow night before we arrive in St. Lucia. That's all I got for you right now. I'm just tired. I'm really tired. But I've enjoyed doing this series together, and I hope you enjoy little clips that go along with this if that's what I decide to do. And I want to encourage everyone to go figure out what you want to do in your life. It's an adventure, and go do it, because there's nothing stopping you, ever. That's your thought for the evening. Adios. See you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning, folks. If you've watched this far, well, thank you and congratulations, because you're probably very interested in sailing, or you got a lot of time on your hands, offshore sailing, that is. It's day 15. Actually, it's day 16. I do these 3 a.m. watch. Today is day 16, and it's hopefully the final day of our journey. We're about 89 miles out of St. Lucia at the moment. It's very spirited outside. Had quite a fast night, and I just want to share my few final thoughts on this trip. And a few quick stats. I was just looking. We've covered, bear with me, we've been out here for 340 hours so far at sea. About almost 16 days. Average speed's been about 8.2 knots. Our top speed has been 21.9 knots, and we've had a lot of high teens in this trip. And so far we've covered 2,828 miles over the water. So it's going to be about 3,000 miles overall. The second longest journey I've ever taken on the ocean, and probably the last 3,000 mile trip I'll do in my lifetime. The rest hopefully will be shorter. We'll see. I wanted to close or wrap this whole thing up with just a kind of an encouragement and a reminder. The encouragement is that I was sitting there talking to Anthony last night, and we're talking about life and goals and systems and all that kind of stuff you talk about. And I brought up my little book I wrote in 1986 around kind of what I wanted to do with my life and the things I wanted to do, and the order, and this was one of them, being able to travel at will, to do a circumnavigation. I'm kind of doing it in pieces. A number of other things, and if you follow me, that topic will come up at some point in time. But the point is that when you decide to do something and you put your mind to it and you put it out there, nothing's impossible. The only limitation is generally yourself, and for me, myself. And I'd encourage you to push out your boundaries, to think big, to dream big, and it sounds cliche, but it's true. Just put it in motion. I also want to just, before I close this, just give a nod to the Creator. You know, it's hard. It's almost impossible to be out here on the ocean and look at the perfect symmetry of everything in the sky, and then look down at your body and just the perfectness of how we're put together by our Creator, and not believe there's something bigger out there, and you have time to think about the big questions. Jesus Christ has been a major part of my life. I've been working my way through Ecclesiastes on this trip, and every night I pray and speak to him. I know he's out there, and every day I get a little closer. And this is kind of personal for me and personal for everybody. But I just know in those times when things are the toughest, that's where I turn. I encourage you to do the same. That's all I got on that topic. Actually, I have a lot, but it's a reminder. So, today we set into St. Lucia, and we should be there around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, maybe a little earlier. Some great footage, a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to heading back and seeing my family. I miss you, Becky, and Maddie, and Kelsey, and Elliot, and all my friends, and this has been an amazing trip. I wanted to thank Anthony and Janice for inviting me on this. It's pretty amazing when you can meet up with friends that you only really had 1 or 2 dinners with, and we've stopped to visit them in Colorado once, but be able to spend this much time together, share so much, and enjoy an adventure like this. That's it. It's gone a bit long, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed the clips, and it's time to move on to the next adventure. Adios, everyone. God bless you, and go for it. Adios.